Previously on the circuit.
Because then they don't know about me and I don't know about them and the old tricks work.
I know they know theory.
There are days when you can't do anything.
Right then.
See you.
Well played, well played.
What boys?
टॉप बच्चा खोले ना अल्लाह के दे दे
Pay attention, pick your favorites early, pick your wild cards, pick your front runners, all of that. It's just poker after all, don't be scared. I'm looking forward to it. Everyone here, the atmosphere is, you can feel it. So, without further ado, classic words coming up. Let's shuffle up and deal.
Here we go. We are looking at the final table for event number 1 here at the circuit. We are now down to the final 9, which means we play 9-handed. A bit different from the 6 max version of the game we've been playing thus far. Could change up the dynamics at the table. We see Jaswin Sehgal coming in with a massive chip stack. Meanwhile, the rest of the 8 are just eyeing their top place prize and trying to avoid the negative points.
I wonder how Ivy did.
As I am joined, as always, by Adi Wadwani in the booth. Adi, welcome. We are kicking off the final table, my friend.
And we've got some new faces as well. Jaswin and Laksh have been busy, it seems, on the outer tables. Jaswin especially. He's been quite brutal to his fellow compatriots on these poker tables. We didn't catch much action of it previously, but now that he's here under the lights, looking sharp as always, I'm sure we're going to see some... What's the word I'm looking for, Vidor? Blood.
What can we say about Jaswin that Jaswin is not saying with his look himself right now? What an OG of poker, Indian poker in particular. Maybe, perhaps, my age, the oldest person on this table and at the circuit. But you wouldn't be able to tell, not just from his style of poker, but from the person he is, from his vibe, and from his aggression on the poker table as well.
And speaking of which, with a nice lead in there, sir. 7-6 suited is Jaswin's hand of choice to get involved. And he's found himself against Mr. Thiam. Now, Mr. Thiam is a good player. Mr. Thiam is not a GTO player. But that is not a concern for Mr. Thiam, because Mr. Thiam likes to play poker. Which is going to be fun to watch, because Jaswin, he's capable of the old school, he's capable of the new school, he knows how to mix it up with a variety of opponents, and I'm looking forward to seeing these guys clash in some funny ways. At the very least, we'll get to understand the definition of sticky. Well then, let's take a flop, Vidor.
Yeah, a little bit of a street poker hand likely, given the playing styles here. Jaswin opening 7-6 suited. Thiam comes along reasonable, Queen 10 of clubs. The flop 4-4-3, not too shabby for Jaswin. Has the backdoor diamonds to go along with the 2 overs and the gut shot straight draw. Leads out after you open 7-6 suited. Considering that flop, again perfectly reasonable. And Thiam with just Queen high. Does have position, has to consider whether he wants to float this for some reason.
He is actually going to peel one off here, which is quite loosey-goosey if you ask me, given that there's not much in the way of backdoors. He must be very confident that those 2 overcards are indeed live, because I wonder what else the plan could be.
The deuce of hearts now. Somehow 7-6 remains overcards to this board. Still the same gut shot, no backdoors in terms of the diamonds, and Jaswin is double barreling here. And surely Thiam is just done with this hand. All kinds of pairs would be over pairs to the board, and Jaswin would play them the exact same way.
Yeah, I like this from Jaswin as well. This is about as good as it's going to get, to be honest, in terms of what's run out and what he's done so far. From the cutoff, we can't imagine Thiam is going to have too much connection here, barring the odd ace-5, ace-4 sort of situations.
But look at this, Adi. He has in fact called. Thiam comes along till the river. It's the 8 of clubs. Oh my goodness. I don't believe what I'm seeing. Queen high is the best hand. Jaswin gives up on the river. Checks to Thiam.
Now, if he's called here, and now he's picked up nothing on the river, the plan surely is bluff, and it's going to probably work. I mean, we can't see him checking back if he's called 2 streets like this. He's had a plan from the very beginning of this hand, as it seems.
If he gives up here, thinking that there's no point bluffing just when he actually picks up the pot, it does seem like he's trying to figure out if he wants to bluff. 30,000 in the middle, 38,000 or so in his stack.
I mean, it's an auto win-win for him, whether he gives up or whether he bluffs. He's going to take it down on, anyway, unless Justin has some epic thoughts in mind right now.
Still a really cool insight into Theum here, Addy. I mean, just look at that. Taking it to the streets, as we said, floated. Didn't know he had the best hand, so floated 2 streets. And now picking up his entire stack. He's jamming it in there on the river. He's bluffing with the best hand, but kudos for the bluff irrespective.
What an absolute legend. And he sized up in a way that he's just put in just about over a pot-sized bet as well. That usually screams, I got something. And look at that. It worked. What an extremely fun hand to open this up with. I'm glad he didn't disappoint there.
Theum is just living up to his reputation on this very first hand on the final table here. We were thinking about nicknames for Theum. We know so many here at the circuit. Some of them newer faces like Theum. How about Mr. Street for that street poker style we just witnessed?
I like it, I like it. Man has got a penchant for blood.
So Mr. Street adding some chips to his stack. There we see Chirag Soda. Another new entrant to the table. Chiggy, as he's called, has King Jack off under the gun. What can we say about Chiggy? I mean, he is just one of the friendliest, nicest presents at the table. But his poker laurels speak for themselves as well. He almost counts as OG at this point, doesn't he, Addy? We're all getting a bit old.
I didn't want you to remind me about that because I still think of Chiggy as one of the young guns, but we're all getting along a little bit. He is, as you said, one of the nicest guys, and he has a great habit of turning up in the big games as well. This guy knows how to close, knows how to play, and he is one to be respected, even by the guys, the bot boys, as Mr. Pavan Bansal, who you can see on your screen, calls them.
Yeah, I spoke to him about how he's approaching the circuit, and he mentioned he's able to go across both the GTO and the sort of old school styles of play. Here he's being put to the test by Vinod. Pocket nines going all in. King Jack off under the gun is now put into a difficult spot. And Chiggy is just calling it off. He has enough of a stack. He's hoping to be flipping.
It's a pretty quick call there as well. I mean, Vinod, we can't blame him. He was obviously very short. But you gotta wonder, you know, I've opened under the gun, right in the short stack, got it in. He's definitely got to have something or the other.
More dead money in the form of Theum perhaps playing a role there. The Jack 10 suited is likely going to hit the mark. And we see that Theum does make the fold. So it's a flip. The Jack got folded. 38% for Chiggy.
Luck clearly finds that very amusing. Let's take a look at this flop. 6-8-3 Rainbow. No help for the Jack King Vinod. Still looking good to double up. 82% equity and a smile on his face. Something that we see quite frequently. The smile, not the equity. He plays PLO. He doesn't get much equity usually.
The 8 of spades continues to be in Vinod's favor. So we're looking at the 8 of diamonds. There we go. Vinod back in the game. Adds 26,000 thanks to the dead money from Theum as well.
That's right, winning that flip and now avoiding those dreaded negative points.
Because this is such a new format, right? Like you have negative marking. Like where in the world will you find negative marking finishing in the bottom half, right? So GTO, no one really knows the solution to this. Right. That's the beauty of this tournament. No one knows the solution. It's all of us are just kind of figuring it out on the fly. Right. And I think is whoever does it a little bit better will probably be in a better position to take it down.
So the table dynamics have moved around quite quickly as we are still 9-handed at this final table. Let's not forget the negative points looming large over the table. Who is going to be on the short end of that stick?
Yeah, it's a factor for all of these guys because it's not solved. So they really are figuring this out as they go. If anyone is capable of doing it, it's these guys right here.
It's kind of the difference between understanding a solution when you are studying poker and memorizing it. Those who memorize solutions, hey, it's a good thing. You know the spots, you're able to execute. But only when you understand why are you able to adapt to this new format we have here at the circuit.
It's hard not to take that personally, Bidor.
Well, that's why we're in the booth and these guys are out there understanding, bobbing and weaving, as we see an ace-jack hit the muck, by the way. Talk about discipline. Pawan has effectively committed himself with the raise. That's essentially a jam, and he gets the same hand and a hand that would be flipping. Of course, deuces, a bit too wide to call off to fold, but what a great result for Pawan thus far. We're 9-handed, mind you. Lots of players to get through. And it folds down to Thiam in the big blind. Pawan gets one through, so he's just willing to risk it all. As we can see, ace-jack off. A strong hand, a premium, but under the gun +1, you still have 8 players to go through. Certainly he's willing to take his spots.
Now this is, again, I'm pretty sure this is the minus point effect in play here. You can... Negative points that you do get, they just set you back so much more than just bricking a tournament, right? You have to carry that and compensate for that as the game goes on, as the series goes on, and at the same time you've got people who are taking it down, just increasing their lead. It's not easy. It's not easy.
And let's not forget, 200 points up for grabs to whoever wins this event. That will just put them in an amazing spot to coast their way into the final 6.
Well, speaking of spot, mate, here we go. Queen Jack diamonds and under 10 big blinds. That's good enough for Chiggy to get it all in from +1. Is he going to get any action? We're going to find out. Lakshpal, Queen 5 off. No thank you. Justin, you've got all the chips in the world. He can consider it. Rocky's not. Oh, but a nice looking hand for Rocky. He lets go of it, of course. Justin also letting it go. Uh-oh. Mr. Advait Rajguru has turned up with the best non-paired primo. Ace-king suited. Diamonds are officially dead for Chiggy. And now he's going to need to find himself out of this one, because this is a deep, dark hole. He's looking up and the light is closing slowly but surely, because this doesn't look good for him. Pawan getting greedy there. Oh, wanting to get involved three-way, clearly asking for something good. Doesn't get it. So we're going to be on their backs, and Chirag Soda for his tournament life for this event, number 1 here on the circuit, needs to find a queen or a jack or something along the lines.
10-9-5 on the flop, not too shabby. The queen jack is an open-ender now, can catch a queen, jack, 8 or a king. Look at that, almost even equity as we head to the turn. 4 of clubs does not help his situation at all. Comes down to the 10 outs, you can see on the top. Otherwise we do lose one of the best in the game. And as we see, Chiggy has been eliminated.
Unhappy about any hand that I played incorrectly, I think. See in the stream later. But all smiles, all okay, happy.
Yeah, how to go, like, getting up to the final table, though? Did you find yourself stacked up at any point, or was it pretty...
Yeah, so when we started, in fact, I think I was chip leading for a while. Then I dropped a little bit, and then when we got to the final table, I had about 30 bigs, 32 bigs, and I think maybe 5 of 9. But card dead absolutely all through. Lost one flip, king jack to 9s, and then I was short, grinded until the bust out hand, and pretty much it. That's poker.
Fair enough.
Right then, with Chiggy out there, minus 15 points, which means there are 2 more spots left, which will give those negative markings. Everyone's going to focus up now. It's getting serious.
Serious indeed. In a typical tournament, there is a money bubble. In this case, 6 players getting positive points. I would have to say that's our bubble in this tournament.
The points bubble. Does it get its own special name? I feel like it kind of does. When we think of one, we'll let you know.
The bubble? The pebble?
The pebble? The pebble?
Maybe we should stick to calling the cards here. We see Jaswin. Minor decision. Ace 4 off. He could be very aggressive, very loose. He has The chip lead, let's not forget, needs to be putting that pressure. There we go. You wouldn't see this every day, but he does have a unique situation. He's opening ace-4 off. Middle position.
Yeah, let's not forget 132k right now is a lot compared to everyone else. So you can get quite naughty as frequently as the cards allow.
TM now with suited Broadway. King 10 suited. He could call and try to hit the flop, or he could consider a disciplined laydown. Jaswin is the chip leader after all. But he does come along, and again, you do see Thiem speculating in late position. We saw that Queen 10 hand against Jaswin. He's completely comfortable floating, making moves, being aggressive, going all in as a bluff. So let's see what he has up his sleeves. The blinds. Not involved with the 6-4 off, with the Queen 9 suited with a good price being laid. Comes along. That's a chunk of his stack, by the way. 5,000 called out of the 23,000 remaining.
Yeah, Vinod there with the old stop and go, it looks like it. Just peel one off. If you connect it, just rip it.
That's a
Ooh,
connection.
That'll do. That will do. The flush draw is live. 2 potential overcards. It's as good as he's going to get. When you got less than the pot in your stack, in it goes. The rest are to the test.
The deuce, deuce, 8 and Vinod stop and going. The ace high actually lets it go.
Yeah, best hand into the muck. And now it's on Mr. Thiem, who doesn't look convinced just yet. He's got, you can see his eyebrows furrowing there a little bit, as if he suspects something is up.
You have to wonder if Vinod had a pair, which is the kind of hand that might play this way. He would have wanted to get it all in pre-flop. He would have wanted to squeeze, maybe get ISO'd, and as a result have more dead money. His hand does look a little bit like the hand that it is, a flush draw.
The occasional 8x as well, given that he's just peeled the old stop and go action out of the big blind. There's a lot of little 8x combos in there, Jack 8 and the like. Thiem might be thinking here, you know, these cards might be live. Do I, oh, pump fake?
Pump fake, which means he did make a hand action and maybe looked for a response from his opponent.
Wow, what a call. He actually does make it in the end. Vinod not looking too happy about that. And he's going to need help now. He thought he was going to get that through pretty easy, I thought. But Thiem is not one to be pushed around.
And what a great call. He is ahead. The 4 of diamonds means a spade, queen, or 9 needed, and no dice. We lose Vinod as well.
Right, Vinod out in 8th. You're becoming a pretty regular face around these new Bazi properties. A master at the last one, competitor in this one on the circuit. Yeah. What's next for your career?
This, I don't know, hopefully shipping this. Off to a bad start. Although I was a favorite on the flop, it just didn't pan out.
All right, mate.
See you.
Have a good one. To get some rest.
It was a good call by him. I kind of didn't expect him to, soul read me, and had queen high, and his hand held. So, sometimes it goes that way. Like, I have no regrets. Can't complain either.
Vinod Megalmani goes out in 8th place, gets -10. Not an ideal situation, but he'll have to live with it. Meanwhile, Thiem Danish up to 2nd in chips. He's going to be eyeing Jaswin's chip leader position.
As Rocky mucks his ace-5, Ashish Ahuja. He's sitting in 6th place right now. Pavan Bansal is not far behind him, so taking a conservative line there. Action over to Katsuo, Mr. Sehgal.
Jaswin with the jack 7 off, under the gun +1. How wide does he want to open with his chip lead? He's folded. And folded to Thiem. Seems to have a decision. We don't know his cards yet. Mr. Street trying to do street things. Pocket 6 is pretty reasonable. Certainly a hand you should be opening from the cutoff. Standard open would be about 2x.
That looks a little more than a standard open, my friend. That looks like all the beans in the middle. Thiem, all in for 135k. putting as much pressure as humanly possible right here. And look at that, Laksh has got ace-10 off. What a spot to be put in right now. He's squinting, he's squirming, he's struggling. Thiam, an absolute savage. And what's this?
Just you can bring the chips on this side.
Thiam has walked away after going all in and saying the chips are going to come to him.
Man, have you ever seen anything like that? That's insane.
What a power move, and how does Laksh perceive this? It's going to confuse him even further.
Well, he's seen many things in his day, but certainly nothing like this.
Yeah, he seems to be in the blender about this one, and he lets it go. Thiam gets it through with the power move.
Gangster.
See, for me, I don't consider myself like, one of those book players like who study a lot of those sports and all that. So I just go with the flow, and I try to play poker from instincts more than the books. So I try to take these players to unfamiliar territory and then try to play some poker.
And I think, correct me if I'm wrong. Well, Laksh could have had a flip situation, did avoid it. We haven't spoken about Lakshpal Singh too much yet, Addy. I mean, what can I even say? Mr. LP has emerged as just one of the best in the business. He is still a young gun, there's no doubt about that. I mean, experience he is not lacking, but in terms of his relative age and relative experience to some of these players, he perhaps is a few years behind, but you wouldn't be able to tell. He has just absolutely dominated the Indian poker circuit.
Well, fun story about Laksh that I'm going to leak on the internet right now. I was at a party. There was an uncle of his there, and he was complaining to this other uncle about how he's worried that Laksh is into all this poker stuff and where's his career going. I said nothing. I just pulled open his stats. I put it in his face. It said many, many crores, and that conversation ended very quickly.
You know, my family had similar apprehensions as well, but unfortunately my results did not appease their tensions. Mr. LP, on the other hand, has achieved everything one can, particularly on the online felts, but mind you, still chasing his first ever live title, and this would be the one to shoot for. As it stands, Laksh has a decision once again with the ace-10 off. This is getting tricky for him. Pawan has taken the spot. He's essentially committed with the ace-5 off, and Laksh now has had enough. No more folding the ace-10. It is just such a strong hand, seven-handed. He finds the 3-bet jam from the cutoff. Ashish folds the ace. And Pawan is just in a 6 spot. He's committed himself. He has to call it off despite a weak holding. Yeah, no king queen. Pawan essentially was hoping his ace blocker would get the jam through, and now he's in a dominated situation, needs help in the form of a 5. King 4-6, no good so far. Some backdoors possible.
Don't be greedy, says Laksh. He does get a little greedy there, though the back door sneaks in with the gutty.
There we go. A 3 or a 5 for the win. No more chops possible. Oh, there it is. The 10 means we lose Pawan as well. Always an amazing presence on the table. Sad to see him go.
Right then, Bubble. Unfortunate, but before we talk about how it ended, I want to talk about how it all started, because you came out the gates firing. I joked about it on the mic, but you were like playing every hand when it started. Was that your plan coming into this?
I just thought that initially it's a good idea to set a tone, like just let the table know that I'm here to play.
So let's talk about the last hand as well. Of course, we were super short. I think like six bigs or so.
Yeah.
I just want to ask, why not just jam?
So when I raise it like close to half my stack, I can still maybe fold with like significant action behind. So if like 2 players plus go all in, then I can get away and try to eke out a page jam, because I had a very marginal hand anyway.
Yeah.
And the raise size that I made it makes it so that Advait in the big blind will have a very difficult time defending to my open.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, what you didn't know, we were watching, my heart was breaking for you a little bit because I was in the commentary booth while this was happening. The flop, the turn was as good as it was going to get, because actually you had 1 out. There was only 1-5 left.
Wow.
So, sorry to break that to you.
No one on the table told me that a 5.
Yeah, I think someone folded, I think Justin folded 5 deuce, and there was another 5 elsewhere, so it got about as good as it could
So
get
Laksh
for
was
you on
right,
the
I should have
turn.
rooted for the 6, right?
Yeah.
I think anytime that you put people in a zone where they have not experienced something, it's higher skill level because now no one can bank on the learnings, prior learnings, right? Whatever you have studied does not seem to matter as much when you're taken to a new tree, which none of us have seen. So in that way, I really like the format. I think the negative marking adds a bit of a layer to it, and because it kind of, in my opinion, I could be wrong, but I think it kind of takes your eye a little bit off away from the ball because when you see yesterday, like you talk about the points, right? So it's 200 points for the first place finish and 120 and 60. It's so top heavy. Like if you finish in the top two, you're almost guaranteed to make it through, right? But the negative points are dissuading people from busting because no one wants to finish last, no one wants negative points. And we kind of saw this get mimicked in the play yesterday. People were playing a little bit too conservative, I felt, especially in the beginning stages. No one busted for like, I don't know, like it felt like an eternity that no one is busting.
So the albatross of negative points hanging on your neck, no longer in the mix. Pawan Bansal out in 7th place with -5. The next player out gets a healthy 10 points. At this point, the short stacks will be happy that they are no longer at risk for negative, but it's all about who can take the win. As we have been saying, a win essentially costs you to almost the final 6, and that is just huge stakes to play for here at day 1.
Back to the action then. Gaurav Sood, who we haven't seen much of so far, decides to get involved once again. King Jack offsuit under the gun. A lot of players already eliminated, so he's more comfortable opening up the action now that we are all ITP. Is that a thing? I don't know why we keep trying to make up new poker sayings, but it is a new format, so maybe that's warranted.
In the points, yeah, that seems fair. ITP it is. Pocket 8s for Jaswin. This is going to be action. Gaurav Sood has opened under the gun. He does have about 14 bigs or so. Jaswin is probably willing to gamble them. There we go. Jabs it in there. He has plenty of fold equity. Mind you, King Jack pretty weak, all things considered. Yeah, folded back to Gaurav. We saw Chiggy make a call like this with the King Jack off. Did not work out well for him. Gaurav just lets it go. Would have been flipping, but makes the right fold.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Absolutely. King Jack sort of falls in the range from early position as the let's hope this one gets through.
I told him, I don't know, मुंह से human क्यों निकल गया मुंह से. हमारी कंपनी क्या चाह रही है?
King 10 of diamonds here under the gun for Justin Segal. He's allowed to open a lot, being the chip leader. And his nemesis thus far, Thiam, picks up the old premium. Lovely ladies in the cutoff for the man from Manipur.
Another street battle ensuing perhaps. Thiam likely to 3-bet this, considering his pocket queens. Trapping is a bit too risky to run the risk of an ace or a king, of course, killing action and perhaps just beating your holding.
The also added dynamic of the fact that these are the two largest stacks that are about to clash. That's always a scary one.
Well, he doesn't 3-bet it perhaps because of that reason. Just makes the call, is under-repping his queens. Partly he would have loved for someone like Ashish, let's say, as a short stack to find the squeeze and go all in. Would have ended up trapping Jaswin in a tricky spot. But now he's going 3-way to the flop with pocket queens in position. Not ideal, but pretty ideal when you flop top set. Must be nice. You under-rep the queens and just bink it. And look at that, a 10 for Jaswin as well. This could be fireworks.
Well, life is good for Mr. Thiam right now. Justin has bet Thiam is quietly called. We're off to a turn. 6 of diamonds now. The backdoor flush has just opened up for Justin Segal.
Look at the stack sizes, Addy. 97,000 in the middle. Justin essentially C-bet on the flop. Thiam, understandable, top set. Not many cards he's afraid of. Simply called on the flop. And now the 6 of diamonds, Jaswin with just middle pair checks. And Thiem shockingly checks behind. Despite the board getting wetter, he did not put more chips into the middle.
Sorry, Vidar, the board's not wet. It's now soaking because Justin has just backdoored that flush and Thiem has underrepped his hand. He's probably thinking all is well right now. He's only really scared of Ace King. if I'm in Thiem's shoes, really, I shouldn't be too worried about anything. This is kind of brutal right now.
Can I see your stack? I can't understand.
This is just a disaster for Thiem. I mean, look at the SPR. Part of the reason he may have sort of engaged in that fancy play syndrome we sometimes talk about is because he only had 113,000 left. 97,000 in the middle. He thought maybe he can get his chips in there on the final street. Now with that disaster Jack of Diamonds, Justin in control. Second nut flush for him. Deciding how much to value bet. He has no idea how strong Thiem is, by the way, considering no raise pre-flop, call on the flop, and check behind on the turn. Justin would not want to size up, which is to say go for all of it, because he doesn't think Thiem can take it.
I mean, I don't blame Thiem as well for checking turn because he's locked up the pot so hard there. I mean, it's really hard to give your opponent much of a calling range there.
There we go, Justin deciding how much to value bet. Could decide to just jam and polarize his hand. Instead, he goes for about half pot, and I simply don't see how Thiem gets away. He's under-repped his hand thus far.
Oh no, he's gone for all of it. Justin snap call shows the diamonds, and Thiem's gonna feel a little bit brutal about that. Look at that face. That's the face of a man who's just run into the back door.
And just like that, Thiem has been eliminated.
Oh, that was pretty brutal, man. The back door came through for Justin. He's running crazy good out there. You've been playing like an absolute beast. We'll get to the hand in a minute. I heard you talking to Goendy and the other guys, getting some tips from the old coach. What did they have to say about that hand?
I played it bad on the turn. I should have let out with a small bet. Try to get a call with the flush draw and the straight draw over there. The board was getting dynamic on the turn, so yeah, I should have let out, and then the river was just a cooler. Just that.
Pretty tough, but I mean, you've been playing really. It's been really fun to watch you from the back end because you've been taking it to the streets with these guys. They're all up there with their technical things. There are no spots available, and you were just finding all the spots. And they're complaining about no spots, but you had because he had all the spots. I think you can feel good about how you started this day because if it's going to take a hand like that to knock you out, then it means you must be doing something right.
I hope so.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Today,
we'll see you tomorrow for the PLO.
Yeah, sure.
All right, cheers.
And with that, we do lose. Mr. Street himself, the wild card, Thiem Danish, goes out in 6th place, comfortably in the points with +10. But now it's down to the final 5 with 1-2 big blind stack. All eyes and all the targets are going to be on Ashish Ahuja. Once he gets eliminated, the rest of the players gain points.
Justin has over 50% of all chips in play. He is a happy man. I think he should be happy. If he's not happy, he's dead inside.
Justin, not the kind of poker player to be dead inside, but I do know he is super focused. He has just come in here with something to prove. Meanwhile, Ashish, the one who is essentially committed from the small with 9-8 off, and Justin calls off 4 deuce. Hey, not a bad spot for Ashish. He can be up to 54,000 if the 9 high holds.
Understandable from Justin there, of course. Any 2 cards pretty good. Ashish is going to be ripping all of it. It's nothing. And, oh, must be nice. Just flopping the goods.
Never mind. 4 deuce deuce. Ashish taking it about as well as he can, and Justin having a good time. When you're hot, you're hot. Just flopping the boat. And that confirms it. We do lose Ashish in 5th place.
I'm here with another victim of Katsuo. What to do?
He's an unstoppable force today, man. Like, nobody can stop him. I'm sure he's going to win. The way he's running, plus his skill set, like combined together, your running hot and skill is at top level, then nobody can stop you that day for sure. I was literally capable of like last 3 big blinds, but I jammed like 8-9 from small big blind, but he called me deuce for suited. He had to call on 2, obviously I know that.
Sure.
Like, the flop comes deuce 4.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
Just make it easy,
just
why
make it
not?
easy. Like, why not? Why not? Like, and so it's fine. I'll let Justin take this one. Hopefully, I make enough points and win the finale. I'll let these boys have fun for now.
So Ashish getting some points in his tally as well, finishing 5th place, good for 20 points, and we're down to just the final 4. Things are getting interesting. Jaswin, an absolutely commanding lead, having everybody covered well over.
And wow, what a 4 it is as well. Now that it's narrowed down a bit, Jaswin Sehgal, Lakshpal Singh, Advait, and Gaurav Sood. I would not like to run into any of these guys in a dark poker alley for my pony life or for any amount of chips anywhere. And right now, all 4 of them are locked in battle here in Hanoi.
Jaswin just jamming the 7-6 of diamonds. He has a dream spot. There is ICM at play here with the huge point jumps between 4th place and 1st place. Jaswin can just essentially play the stacks off each other. Going all in with 7 high there, just saying, hey, do you want to try to come up the ladder or do you want to just put your tournament life at risk here? Let's go.
Power Poker 101 from Mr. Jaswin Sehgal. Katsuo on the prowl as he goes by.
Great hand, King 9 suited under the gun. We're 4-handed. Look at his stack, 65,000, well under 10 bigs. Can certainly find the jam unless he makes some ICM decision making and makes what would be a very tight fold. He does a triangle, Addy. Advait's perhaps signature all-in style is to ask for the all-in triangle. And ace-jack off for Lakshpal. If King 9 suited is a strong hand, ace-jack off 4-handed is a monster. I don't see Lakshpal ever folding this. Does make the call, so it seems like Advait is going to be at risk to go out in 4th place. And oh, wait just a second. Queen 10 suited and Jaswin hasn't folded yet.
He's smiling there at the prospect of if I call, I could do a double knockout and go to bed early today. Jaswin, he doesn't go to bed though. He goes out, has a nice massage and dinner and recaps high roller life. But yeah, what an interesting one as well. Beautiful looking hand. It won't cost him much, but yeah, of course, fold he says, because it's too crazy. Good players he has to do that against, and of course, why give them more chips?
Exactly. There's no way for him to know, but he would have had 2 live ones, even equity as it turns out. That being said, the ace would have essentially flopped him dead, but look at this, 2 hearts for Advait, top pair for Lakshpal. Still a good fight. And now the king adds outs as well. 32% equity heading to the final card. Can Advait survive?
Sweaty. Deuce of clubs, Laksh wants. 9 of clubs for Advait. That was not what Laksh called for, but it is what Advait did. Internally, you didn't hear him. He's quite a quiet guy, but he gets the job done.
And wow, Laksh is just crippled. Advait getting the best of the ace-jack off. Has a healthy stack. Over half of Jaswin's now. He's going to be a force on this table. And Gaurav now will likely be eyeing Laksh's stack, much shorter than his with every decision, including this one. Folds the king 5 off. Laksh has 10-7 off. No good. So Laksh is down to just 3 bigs and change. Pocket 4's easy jam from the small. Even though Advait has a decent stack, Jaswin is just putting the most pressure possible. 2 tiny stacks for Advait to wait out to get more points.
Advait celebrating his 80-point jump to second, as he mentioned. Yeah, it's going to get a little swingy as it gets short. And over to the Mr. Chip leader. Jaswin Sehgal. Forced to be reckoned with. Will he continue his aggression? I think you have your answer.
Jack 9 off now being jammed as well. This is ATC poker. Any 2 cards are good when you can put all the pressure in the world. And Laksh wakes up with just 5-3 off in the big blind. He has to let it go and just 10k left in his stack.
5-3 off. Lot of money in the pot, I know.
So, I mean, I had 3 big blinds, I posted an ante, rather 2.8 big blinds, I posted my ante, and I was left with like 1.8 big blinds.
and I folded the big blind, that 5-3 off. Justin shoved into 3 guys. The reason I folded was the button actually had a pretty big stack, and Justin still shoved. So, I mean, though I didn't need much equity in that spot, Gaurav was also short, and big blind was going to hit him soon. So I thought maybe, there's a chance of collision where he busts out before me and I get that ladder. Even though I guess I'm not supposed to fold in that spot, but the point stuff did play in my mind.
Laksh making a shocking fold. He'd rather take the gamble of using his one big blind than call off the 5-3 off. He just needs to hope that somehow there's an elimination behind him. This would be a difficult spin up, but hey, Addy, as they say, all you need is a chip and a chair. Laksh essentially down to that.
And there we go, putting it all in there. What's the holding? Queen deuce, it will do. It's going to be Justin Sehgal that he has to beat, and guess what? He's been dominated by Mr. Sehgal as well. Laksh in a world of trouble here. Justin continues the onslaught.
That is rough. He waited for his spot. He saved that 1.25 bigs and runs into the Queen 8, dominating the Queen deuce. Needs a lot of help, otherwise we will lose one of the game's best.
Oh, bingo! Queen deuce on the flop. Smiles all around for Laksh. That is funny. And just boats up to be sure. Now an ace for the chop, or an 8 for the win. Otherwise Laksh is going to get a lovely double up. There it is. 1 BB. He waited for his moment, and he waited, as it turns out, perfectly. What an absolute beast. Does he know something that we don't? Because I would have stuck 1 BB in there a long time ago. But yeah. Lakshpal Singh figures out the format, saves that extra chip. He was talking about wanting some collision to happen. Instead, he gets a double up. He'll take that as well. And on we go. Gaurav Sood now, the new short stack. He's going to be all in. Laksh is still slightly under them, but pretty much even stacks here. An interesting one as well, because...
Let's take a moment to think about how much Gaurav must have hated what just happened. He was going to get the points ladder, the Queen deuce, somehow managing the win against the Queen 8 off. Now Gaurav commits with the Ace 4 suited, considering he no longer has to wait for the 1 big blind stack.
A nice fold from Laksh there as well, not just because he was behind, that's because we can see the cards, for the fact that he's just going to let Justin Sehgal do work for him. Why risk chips when you can get a free ladder, courtesy Mr. Katsuo?
And Mr. Katsuo finds the King 8 off and decides it's good enough. It's understandable. Gaurav with just 4 bigs, mind you, he's under the gun, Gaurav that is. So the very next hand, half of his stack would have been in blind. Gaurav is going to be shoving much, much wider, even if he didn't have an ace. King 8 off could be ahead. In this case, it is behind, but look at that, Addy. About a flip, 44% equity going to the flop. As we do see the 5-4 deuce, 2 clubs. Perfect so far for Gaurav. Could be looking at 2 short stacks, finding the double against Jaswin. Jaswin needs a king or an 8 for the upset. And none to be found so far. So, can we have a comeback from the 2 shorties, Gaurav and Laksh? And the 7 of hearts means the sun run could be on. Gaurav with a comeback, 80,000, 10 bigs now in his stack.
And this is a concern, obviously, for Justin, because while he's been chip leader for a while, the blinds do keep sneaking up rather rapidly, and things can turn around rather aggressively. If you've played poker before, you'll know all too well.
Yeah, 2/3 of the chips in play for Justin, but it's not enough. Couple of all-ins and suddenly you're down to the short stacks. But shouldn't slow Justin down too much. He knows the job ahead of him. Sometimes the chip leader likes keeping the short stacks around. You can put so much pressure on the middle stacks thanks to the ladders and the points on offer. And ace for Advait. Now he is no longer the middle stack. His stack matches Gaurav and Laksh's, so he's getting the ace in there from the button against the 2 shorties.
This time I have the hearts.
And that does look like a call there from Laksh for that tiny little bit of change behind. Oh, Smiles is live. Here comes a flop. Queen's just working for Lakshpal. He's got a flush draw as well. That's another reason to smile.
What a beautiful flop after being well behind, and now the deuce of clubs changes nothing. Comes down to the Barry Greenstein, the ace on the river needed for Advait, and none to be found, which means the chip and a chair story continues. Laksh managing the spin up back to 51,000.
Laksh giving us a real life example of the phrase alligator blood.
Don't forget, he had one big blind and change and did not call it off with about 8 big blinds in the middle. And here we are, he's back up to 5 big blinds and change. Certainly still in the contention for this tournament.
I apologize, I was supposed to say alligator blood with the Teddy Gage B accent. I will not do that again.
I mean, for all the Rounders fans out there listening, Addy, why don't you try it? Just try it once.
Kid's got alligator blood.
Okay,
Not
there we
bad?
go. Not
Not
bad. Not bad.
Not bad.
Jack 9 suited now for Gaurav. This is a hand you would be shoving most of the times, given that he does have only 5 big blinds or so. Yeah, he gets it in there from the button. Needs to hope nobody wakes up with a strong holding. Would love to pick up the dead money in the middle, the blinds and antes. But Laksh has a different idea. Similar stacks. We don't know his hand yet, but it's going to be good if he's calling it off as opposed to jamming it. And Jaswin with the Queen 8 off. We saw him consider with the Queen 10 suited last time. He let that one go. This time it's 45,000 to call, so fewer chips. Oh, and look at this. He's thinking about it.
45?
Doesn't make the call. As we see the cards get flipped over, let's see what Laksh has. And does Jaswin have a chance at a double elimination here?
So, Vidar, is that a little greedy there from Jaswin, or is that just cheap price?
I mean, he's getting a good price, but I think the greed is to knock out 2 players, get home a bit early, as you said, maybe hit the clubs a bit earlier than he otherwise would.
We still don't know Lakshpal's holding. I'm sure we're going to find out. Oh, he is ahead. He's in good shape here.
Yeah, the Queen and the 8 just absolutely dominated. Of course, an 8 would just end the proceedings if it holds up. 14% for Jaswin for the double knockout. Mind you, Gaurav's in trouble as well. Needs a jack or a 9. Ace, 4, 7, 2 diamonds. What a beautiful flop for Lakshpal. 4 of spades changes nothing. The nut flush draw, but the King Queen's the best hand. The nut flush draw, but also King Queen, the best hand for Laksh. Could find the triple up here, essentially. And the 5 means Laksh triples up and we lose Gaurav Sood.
Well, 4th place is not a bad start to the series, my friend.
Yep, for
How are
sure,
you feeling right now? How was that for a day 1 event?
I feel good. I think I took the best decision that I could. In the end, it was a little too shallow. But yeah, I found a spot on the button with 5 big blinds and I jammed with Jack 9 suited. Got called in 2 places. Was lucky to be live, but yeah, didn't hit. Yeah,
we can blame Jaswin for everyone being
fair
short.
enough,
He's
fair enough,
kind
yeah.
of been busy out there.
Yep, for sure. So that was pretty interesting. Obviously, as I've said earlier, the negative marking is pretty interesting. Someone also said like feels like we're back to school, or like back to giving competitive exams where you couldn't risk it because there was negative marking in some exams.
Well, GG to Gaurav Sood, aka Mozzie, in 4th place with 40 points. But the story perhaps to focus on is the spin up by Lakshpal Singh. 163,000 in his stack. Don't forget, we were down to 10,000 with the Queen Deuce, and here he is, comfortably second in chips. Mind you, just another double up with Jaswin, and he would have flipped stacks and be the chip leader.
Yeah, what a run there from Laksh. Mind you, that last hand, that was a 3 hand, and he took it down with King High. Things are going his way.
Jaswin shoves the Jack 10 off from the small blind, and Advait wakes up to the beautiful pocket queens and the big. Nothing Jaswin can do there, but could this be the continuation of the bleeding that Jaswin was trying to avoid? We spoke about that Queen 8 off call. Not too bad a call. I mean, he was live with the 8s, but it could hurt him in terms of the dominance of his chip lead now that he's about to lose most likely against the Queens. Or wait just a second. There is a 10 on the flop. Ace 10, 8. All hearts though, so the Queen of Hearts doing a lot of work. Jaswin does have some outs. The Jacks and the 10s live. Now with the Ace, only the 10 needed. And there it is, the 4 of diamonds means the other shorty Advait also with the double up. So the stack dynamics now completely different. A bit more standard in a way, Addy. Jaswin, 273k. But both players are in that zone where a double up would make them the chip leader.
And it looks like things have taken a turn for the fun, especially for you guys watching and us in the booth. And Mr. 1BB himself, a little larger now, picks up the best non-paired holding pre-flop ace king suited for Lakshpal Singh.
All options on the table apart from fold, of course. He could just limp in the small, which is to say just flat call and balance out his strong holdings with his weaker one. A raise seems a lot more standard with a hand as strong as this. And he does go with the 2.3x open, enticing Jaswin to come along. Look at the price being offered. 13,000 to call, 43,000 in the middle. Queen 3 off is just so raggy though. Jaswin does have the chip lead. Could feel like he's going to have the post-flop advantage in position. And he has 2 live cards, by the way. Yeah, he does come along. Can't blame him. As we head to the flop, Ace-King battles Queen 3 off. Queen in the window. And the rest of the cards are clean as well. Jaswin running hot. Queen 5 deuce. And Laksh now in a tricky situation. 120k in his stack. About 60 in the middle. How does he want to navigate? It feels so weak to just check. You're essentially waving the white flag. The board does demand a continuation bet. And in it comes. It's a tiny, tiny continuation bet. Very standard these days in tournament poker. But 1.4 bigs, Jaswin would be continuing. With the wide part of his range, he just flat calls with top pair. So he's essentially underrepresenting his hand. But it's a great decision. It keeps Laksh's range in the mix now. The 10 of diamonds means the backdoor Broadway draw for Laksh. But not too much equity as you can see. 2 overs and the straight draw. 84,000 in the middle. This is when the hand gets difficult to navigate as well, because does he want to continue? Well, wait just a second. He's just jammed it in there. It's a slight over bet, but he's run into the top of Jaswin's range essentially. Jaswin has top pair and blind versus blind, which is heads up. A top pair is just so strong. Usually feels like the nuts. I suspect Jaswin will take his time and toss in the chip, and Lakshpal's about to get the bad news. Wait just a minute, Addy. Is Jaswin thinking about folding this?
Oh, he's shuffling those cards.
Wait, but...
He's looking again. That kicker is still horrible. I don't think that's much of a factor. I don't know. What is he putting Laksh on here right now?
Yeah, I mean, the reason you flat call on the flop is so that you can induce your opponent into making a move like this and call it off. And he has actually decided to fold. Excuse me?
Spidey sense a little off-center there for Jaswin Sehgal, and Laksh. That's my I got away with murder face. Take a note.
Wow, Jaswin perhaps just a bit too burnt by those losses he just took. Doubling up Laksh, doubling up Advait. It made him a bit gun-shy to call off with the queen there, perhaps suspecting a better queen or maybe straight over pairs in Laksh's range. And Laksh reveals that he had the ace-king. Oh, that is going to mess with Jaswin's head. Let's hope he can center himself after taking that. Let's hope he can center himself after realizing he could have perhaps polished off Lakshpal Singh there and taken the huge chip lead over Advait.
I know Justin, he's already forgotten about the hand. He's on to the next, and the next is a little bit spicy as well. Now Laksh has picked up a good hand and is the one applying the pressure. How does that feel, Mr. Sehgal? He says with an all-in of 134k.
Oh my goodness, this is a tight spot as well. Small versus big once more, as three-way battles will usually be. And Laksh finds the ace, standard jam given the 12 bigs or so in his stack. And Jaswin has a king 9 off, which, by the way, should be a standard call. We just mentioned how he's been burned before. He just made that huge fold with the top pair. Now this would be essentially a hero fold and arguably the correct one given the holdings. Do you think he can do it?
I would not dare to guess, because I would have called the queen. Actually, I would have folded the queen pre-flop. So, on the other hand, so I can't really be the one to give you the right advice. Jaswin does make the fold though. Laksh continues the aggression. It's no longer a spin up. He is up and he is continuing to soar.
Well, there you go. I mean, yeah, he folded the top pair, but then he also gets away from the king 9 in a situation where he would have been far behind. So, certainly looking to preserve his chip lead. He is just so capable of leveraging the chip dynamics. He decides he's better off taking low variance approaches, and good timing for it as well.
I was going to say Advait has been a bit of a spectator till now, but he's picked up pocket jacks and is clearly happy about it.
Once again, the question is to limp or to raise, which is to say to trap or to raise.
That is the question. To trap or not to trap?
To trap.
Is that where we're going with this? I like it.
It's the poker Shakespeare equivalent.
Shakespearean. No, I just made up another word. Let's move back to the poker.
Pocket jacks do decide to open, and now Laksh has a king. It's usually strong enough in a heads-up battle to continue with. The stacks are pretty shallow, hovering between the 10 and 15 big range. 27,000, around the sizing that Laksh was using when he himself had a strong holding with the ace-king suited.
He's going to have a look at the flop though. Peels off there. Justin Sehgal needs a break. We say, no sir, we're too busy watching poker and you've got chips in front of you. You got to play. Laksh catches top pair there. The jacks no longer ahead. But Advait doesn't know that yet. How is he going to proceed? Cautiously is what I would recommend.
The board being so wet as well, Advait might think any resistance from Laksh could be in the form of draws or weaker hands than pocket jacks. Look at the stack size there, 66 in the middle, 103 effective. This is going to be tough for Advait to avoid disaster. I mean, if he saves his tournament life here, it would be a miracle.
We imagine Laksh here will continue with top pair, and Advait, having two jacks right now, actually kind of blocks the hands that Laksh could be drawing with in terms of this board right here. So that might play a factor.
Just a flat call from Laksh in position, very similar to how Jaswin played the top pair in the same blind battle. Now the 4 of diamonds is super clean, and Advait with an excellent check, but look at the stack sizes. SPR is exactly 1, the stack to pot ratio that is. And it comes a queen of spades. This could save Advait from losing his entire stack. So now he has 2 overs on the board. The flush draw has completed. Some straight draws that of course Advait blocks have completed. Laksh has played it super tricky, checking behind the top pair. Has to go for the value now. He knows he's so likely to be ahead, and a lot of hands that Advait would play this way could have connected with the queen, mind you. Goes for value. 40,000 is the ask.
Doesn't take too long. Gotta respect that from Advait. Everything sort of gets there in his head. He unblocks the spades himself, so he's thought, let's just get out of here. let's move on to the next. Gave Laksh credit where it was due.
I mean, let's just take a moment to admire how Advait lost just one big blind after being outflopped with the jacks. How many people are capable of playing jacks in such a way where they don't lose a chunk of their stack after being outflopped by the single king on the board?
Honestly, Vidor, I was going to say, I don't think many people actually know how to play jacks full stop. You can probably end the sentence right there. There's no right way, apparently. Until you study and learn and get good at the game, and then it works out, and then it's all fine. The rest of us mortals, ship it and pray. Right then. All in, Justin Segal, back to applying pressure here, blind to blind, but picking up absolute top of the range in terms of blind to blind. Advait, can't blame him either. King 7 suited, gets it all in for his 20 life. Arguably, Justin could be doing this with a lot lighter. He's going to be quite disappointed when he sees Justin's on the premium end. But very live and very suited. So, not the best, but not the worst, I believe is where Advait is at in his head, and that's why you have the muted smile as well.
Advait knows the charts. King 7 suited, an easy call with 6.5 bigs as we head to the board. And it does come king high. Advait, Alligator blood is in play here. Top pair against middle pair. Now comes the 5 of diamonds. It's safe, so just 5 outs for Justin. Otherwise, Advait gets the double once more.
And how many of these cracks to Justin's armor can he sustain before it starts to get to him? I know the answer to that. It's none, because he's an absolute beast, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Well, look at that. In fact, Addy, you're so right, because Advait and Justin now even stacked. Pocket sixes on the button. Justin has been slowly crippled down to just under 8 bigs, and he goes all in, and Laksh wakes up with King Queen suited. How the tables have turned. Mr. One Big Blind could be on the verge of eliminating Justin Segal. All he needs to do is win the flip.
Is it weird that I'm feeling bad for Justin right now? Justin flops quads. You don't need to feel bad for him. He's fine. He'll live. So, quick but not painless for Laksh there. Found a great hand to call with. Justin casually flops quads. And we're on to the next hand. Advait with the ace in the small blind. Imagine he'll apply the max. There it is. And Laksh picked up. Yeah, he asked for a count. King 8, good enough.
Snaps it. King 8 is definitely good enough at that 6 big blind shove level. And now Advait at risk, but once again, he is ahead, so he could be back up to a comfortable second in chips if he can just hold the ace high. King in the window and laughter. But look at that, 3 hearts, meaning the ace of hearts could be the key card here. It's basically a flip heading to the turn.
Always a sweat, mate. It's never easy.
10 of clubs means that the equities have certainly shifted in Laksh's favor, and the 10 of spades seals the deal. We are down to heads up. Advait eliminated in third. A big hug from Lakshpal.
So when I saw you first thing, when you got here, you were like, I haven't slept in 2 days. Sleep deprivation seems to be the meta. Third place, not bad.
Yeah, I mean, it worked this time, but it's not the ideal way, you know. You want to get good sleep, stay focused, stay in the zone. Like, I mean, being sleepless is not helpful. I probably ran good, and that's what helped me.
A modest and honest answer. I was just hyping you up, but okay, you could have just taken the thing. That's fine. Let's talk about the poker a little bit. How was it out there? You had to grind quite a bit against these fellows.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty tough because you've gotten the best players in India, right? Some of the best players in India who were here. So, I mean, I expected a tough grind. And yeah, I mean, it was what I expected also.
And there we go. We are down to heads up. This is the business end. And not only that, we have even stacks for Justin and Lakshpal. What a comeback for Lakshpal. But Justin did have the minor roller coaster, but has been in control for a majority of this tournament. Does the momentum lead him to a victory, or is it the comeback king who emerges on top as we head to what should be an exciting heads-up battle? These two well-versed with heads-up. To get to heads-up, you have to be essentially in line, in contention to win a tournament, and these two have won plenty of tournaments. I suspect their heads-up game is as strong as ever.
And let's not forget the fact that these guys have both played with each other from the very beginning of this event. On the outer table they played, on the feature table they played, and now here on the final table they are heads up for it all.
As we catch the action in this hand brewing, King 3 suited, meaning the nut flush draw for Lakshpal out of position. Justin continuation bets on the ace-high board, as one would in heads up. He just has queen high, so is way behind. The deuce of hearts, meaning an absolute brick. Justin could have double-barreled, continuing that story that he has an ace, but decides not to. Another deuce means the check mark for Laksh, but only with king high. Could think he's missed his draws and might want to bluff at it. Decides to just check, and we'll get to showdown the king high and an instant change in momentum. Look how big each pot is. Just 6 big blinds, meaning Lakshpal now with the chip lead. So the comeback officially complete. The chip lead heads up in Laksh's favor. I'm not sure who to root for, Addy. The guy who had the chip lead throughout or the guy who's made the comeback. We all love chip in a chair stories. I can't help be a little bit biased.
Comeback stories are also big. I'm also a huge fan of the old comeback story, the underdog tale, what have you. And but like you said, my heart does break for Justin as well. That's really tough for me, actually, and you hear as commentators, knowing these guys, not just on the table, but off, it's hard to be biased. But it's also fun to be biased at times, just to rub them the wrong way later. See if anyone wants to play any cool hands to give us some fun things to do back here. Not that they're already not doing that with this masterclass on display.
Once again, the heads-up dynamic tends to be who wants it more. King high versus the 8 high. Laksh in position with the 8 high, so I would say he has a slight advantage in terms of being able to muscle Justin out of the hand. Does bluff with the 8 high when the board pairs on the turn, and Justin knows king high is going to be good plenty of times. Not going anywhere. He's making it look easy. Calling the king 6 off there. Oh, and the 8 on the river means he's been outdrawn. King high no longer the best hand, and Laksh could just check behind and take what is already a huge pot. Would be a huge swing.
Yeah, it'd be kind of weird to turn his hand into a bluff as well. His heads up, after all, pair is going to be really strong. It is Justin, though. I don't know. What would you do in this spot, Vidar?
Just tap the table and collect the chips, as it turns out. Pretty sweet scenario being set up here for Lakshpal to come back in this match.
And that's exactly what he's thinking about there. Decides to just take the passive route, checks back, gets great news.
2-1 chip lead now for the comeback kid. The 8 coming to the rescue. He knows it. He's gotten away with one. The cheeky smile, and Justin does not seem happy. Cannot blame him. The cards not going his way.
I'd like to correct you there, Vidar. That's just his poker face.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I am reading into it. Perhaps I can certainly feel for him given the run out. And now 9-8 off for him. Not the choicest of holdings, but heads up. It is the kind of hand you must play. Only question is with a flat call or an open from the button. Decides to go with the limp. Oh, and a king and a 10. 10 big blinds is the effective stack for Justin. Laksh should just find the jam button as he does and get the quick fold. Laksh is likely to find the jam there. Oh, and wait just a second. Just a check back. Very surprised to not see the king 10. Just go all in there considering the 10 big blind effective stack, and it has backfired. 9-3-4 on the flop. Things perhaps about to go Justin's way.
Well, bets for protection does Justin Segal, and Laksh with 2 over cards says, I'll take one more card, please.
Yeah, we saw Justin call off correctly with the king high in the previous hand. Laksh, after having under-repped his hand, floats on the flop, and now Justin comfortably betting on the turn again. He has top pair after all. This is for value. Oh, and Laksh about to make another call. Are we about to see... Another swing.
Sticky, 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 Mr. Lakshpal Singh. Now, what's the plan here? Does he think he's actually ahead here, or has he got devious thoughts of bluffing?
I mean, the thing is, if Jaswin had something like an ace high, he would have jammed pre-flop. So Laksh thinks he is ahead in terms of pre-flop holdings. 9-4-3 with another 4 doesn't connect with too many hands, but Jaswin does have a hand that is connected, and Laksh gets to show down the king 10 off and gets the bad news. There we go, just like that. Jaswin takes the chip lead again. This is going to be the story of heads up, perhaps. It all comes down to who gets the best of each other in an all-in pot.
Heads up's great because you can't just do the same thing over and over again. Your opponents are constantly adjusting to you.
And Laksh perhaps regretting not jamming the king 10 off there. Now it goes a limp once again from Jaswin. Now it goes limp from Jaswin, and Laksh will take the free flop, and look at this. Jack 8-3, pair versus pair, dangerous heads up. It's hard to make a pair heads up, as they say, so bottom pair also is going to be good. And on a board like this, rainbow board on the flop, now the deuce of hearts on the turn. Neither player will feel too bad about their holding.
Yeah, no raise pre, like you said, they'll both be comfortable with pairs.
Quick bet and a call. The bet was a big one, by the way, so 150k in the middle. The SPR close to 1, almost Jaswin stack in the pot already. The king doesn't change anything, so pair of 3s with the queen kicker versus the pair of 8s with the queen kicker. Laksh is out of position. Does he want to value bet this? It just goes check check, but still a comfortable showdown for Laksh there with the pair of 8s. And now over 400,000 in chips for Laksh for the first time. I think the momentum is squarely on his side.
Yeah, this is the shortest I think we've seen Jaswin so far throughout pretty much the whole tournament. It's always rough. Mentally, it's super tough when you've been chip leading an entire event for the longest time, and then right at the end when it starts slipping away, it can be so painful and it really tests all your resolve. And right now, being put to the ultimate test, Laksh has jammed. Jaswin's found an ace. He's put his tournament life on the line. Good camaraderie there, both standing up. We're going to take a huge flop right now. 10-3-10.
Safe for the ace high. Jaswin needs to keep it that way. Does have some diamonds that are meaningless, so no backdoors really for either player apart from the straight draw for Lakshpal. Comes down to the king or queen. There is one of those backdoors though. The straight draw in play as well. The players laughing at the outs being added. 10 outs going once for Laksh. Can he close this one out? And he cannot. We do see the double up.
Jaswin, in fact, on my right all day. Like we were playing together from the start to the end, which was heads up. It was a lot of fun, and then I guess we reached final 9. Bunch of wonderful, great players. Very stiff competition, and yeah, I mean, I would say I was just taking every hand as it comes, and didn't really pre-plan too much into things. Just on the go, just adjusting my strategy as things come. And yeah, and then like people just kept getting eliminated. I ran good in some spots, and then suddenly I found myself heads up. So yeah, it was a very fun ride yesterday.
So close, yet so far for Lakshpal Singh. He has made the ultimate comeback. Almost literally a chip and a chair. Was in a soft flip, the king queen versus the ace deuce. Could have closed this one out, but it's not to be. Jaswin now reverses once again the chip dynamics. He is in the chip lead.
Blinds about to go up. We are at 10,000 and 20,000 with that big blind ante as well. Chunky blinds.
I should address the big blind ante there, Addy. You know, in heads up, we still maintain the big blind ante, so there's so much for the button to fight for. Look at that, 50,000 in the middle means you can jam so wide, and Laksh in fact has to call off the queen 6 suited. So this could be it. Jaswin now has Laksh at risk. Could this be the one? Can Jaswin close out with his ace 3 holding? The flop comes Queen 5-5. Jaswin cannot catch a break. Laksh is now in control and we're eyeing yet another double up as we head to the turn. And the Queen of Diamonds means the check mark for Lakshpal Singh. We are once again about the same stacks as we started heads up with. This is just an unbelievable battle.
Yeah, crazy how it's been. Laksh had the lead for a bit, but you blind out a couple of hands, you fold a few, and just like that, like you said, the power of the blinds are just 50k just for the blinds, so just eating a couple of steals here and there.
And here we go again. Laksh finds a king on the button, and at this stack depth, it has to go in, and Jaswin has woken up with sevens. Dare I say, this could be it?
Yeah, easiest call of his life. But not out the woods yet. This could go on, or this could end. It all depends on what rolls out on these next two cards.
Thus far, out comes a 5. It is a straight draw, but 2 sevens in Jaswin's hand. So 2 outs for the sevens, 3 with the kings, 5 outs going once, and the 5 diamonds means it's over.
So 120 points for Lakshpal Singh in second place, but it's all about Jaswin Sehgal, champion of Event 1.
The champion of the champion on day 1, Jaswin Sehgal is with us. Jaswin, tell us, walk us through your experience of the circuit.
It was superb. So I started off slow. I wanted to see how people are playing, and actually playing an MTT after a month. So I took my time. I grinded it out. First 2 levels, folded a lot, saw what the vibe was, what people were up to, and then slowly changed gears.
And we've actually played a bunch of hands in this live poker room live prior to the circuit in other local events and stuff. So Jaswin is actually a very close friend of mine. He's a seasoned professional. He's been around for a long time. He's like one of the OGs of Indian poker.
Towards the end, it did get a little turbo. That's also because everyone, winning this tournament meant so much to everyone that everyone put in their best. I'm sure, you look at the field, it's top class. You look at the play, it was top class. Everyone played really well.
Great. Thank you so much, Jaswin. Thank you for your time. Good luck
Cheers.
to you for the other events.
Thank you so much, man.
And it was a lot of fun because we were literally sitting next to each other from the first hand. And it was kind of like meant to be that we were going to play heads up. We were playing very respectfully against each other from the get-go. We decided, it was like kind of an unsaid thing where we weren't really getting out of line, and, that mutual respect was there. And he's a great player. He's very, very experienced, a very tough player as well.
Jaswin's just looking too good, bro. He's been steamrolling,
Day 1, how's that to kick off this series? Amazing stuff. Jaswin Sehgal leading the way, the OG circuit member, taking it down for 200 points. Lakshpal Singh coming in at second place with 120 points. Coming in at the bottom, Navkiran Singh, minus 30 points. He takes the bottom spot. And Team Pro for Poker Bazi, Abhishek Goindi, minus 25. So the Bazi boys got to do a little more work moving into the next events. That is, of course, PLO, which I hear is a little bit of a specialty for both of them. So, will they live up to their reputations? We will find out. Can't wait for the next one. We'll see you guys very soon.
This game may be habit-forming or financially risky. Play responsibly.